My name is Terra and we are at Common Roots Urban Farm. We've been growing on this piece of land since 2012, so this is our 10th season. We sit on about an acre of land in the Broadway-Fillmore neighborhood in Buffalo, New York. And we grow mostly vegetable crops. We have peppers and eggplant and tomatoes, cucumbers, zucchini, lettuces, root crops, melons, berries. Common Roots Farm sells at various farmers markets, and we also run a community supported agriculture, or commonly known as CSA program. And a couple nights a week we sell at our farm stand right here at the farm. When I began farming here in the city, it was a big shock to me how many pests that there were here that we had to deal with. I spent some time farming in a rural area, and when I moved here to the city, I imagined that the pest pressure would be much less than in a rural area, but I was completely wrong. Over the years on Common Roots Urban Farm, we've dealt with just about every pest I can imagine. We have aphids, and we have spider mites, and tarnished plant bug, and cucumber beetle, and potato beetle, and leafhoppers, tomato hornworms, and cabbage moths, and the list goes on and on and on. We're not certified organic, but we use all sustainable growing methods where we've never sprayed, or do we like to spray, any synthetic pesticides at all. So we take an approach beneficial to the environment, beneficial to our farm, but still deters the pest. We use the release of ladybugs sometimes for aphids. We do a lot of scouting for pests, and when we can, just squishing them ourselves. We've used row cover, we use insect netting, and when we do have to spray, we spray organically approved pesticides like pyrethrin or spinosad. Another very important IPM strategy that we use on the farm in conjunction with the insect netting is crop rotation. Even on our small urban farm, we try to rotate our crops as much as possible. So, if we planted our brassicas in one field one year, we won't plant them there next year. And the same with all the crops, not only for, controlling insect populations, it's also for fertility management and, general soil health. But there's a couple different types of fabrics you can use on your farm for crop protection. Here I have a piece of row cover or agrabon, and here is some insect netting or exclusion netting. We first started the farm, we mainly, actually exclusively, used row cover. Row cover is great because it's relatively inexpensive. It provides, a quick, easy way to cover your crops when you want to protect them from tons of different pests. Row cover was no longer working on our farm for a number of reasons. One is that it definitely heats up the crops that are underneath. Most of the times, the crops that we are covering with the row cover don't like it hot. Although it's pretty durable, this fabric, shown to us that it really deteriorates pretty quickly in the heat of the sun. Storing it over the years, it tears very easily. And once there's a tear in it, it's really useless. The third reason is that we're in a pretty windy location, and we've always used these rock bags to hold down the netting, but since this is a pretty thick cover here, the wind does not go through this. We'd have to come out every other day or so and cover our crops back up because the wind had just blown it off. Now, we mainly have switched over to using insect netting. Insect netting is amazing. I'd say the only one downfall of using insect netting is that it's pretty expensive. The cost is, it's probably almost 10 times more than the cost of the row cover here. But the benefits are huge. It's extremely durable. We have a few pieces with small tears in it, which I'm pretty sure can be sewn back up again. The wind passes right through it. We have not had a problem yet of the wind blowing it off. We have to use many less rock bags to hold it down, and it still doesn't blow off. If there's any temperature difference under the insect netting, it has to be so minimal. We haven't seen any, detrimental effect. And, irrigation water readily goes through it, sunlight goes through it. So it has been a complete game changer on the farm. When choosing your insect netting, you do want to pay attention to the different mesh size that you're choosing. All the information will be there when you order, but there's, insect netting that has, much larger mesh sizes that's going to protect from the larger insects like cucumber beetles or cabbage moths. But if you're trying to protect not only from cabbage moth, but maybe, thrips or the Swede midge, you're going to want to choose the insect netting with a small enough mesh size to keep those insects out as well.